Okay, so the pay-per-view started off with the tag team title match. It was a fantastic opener between the Usos and the Wyatts. Great back and forth action that ended with the Usos retaining. I don't have a problem with them being champions, but I just don't understand why the Wyatts wouldn't be given a run of the belts yet. It just doesn't make much sense to me because they're a really good tag team, and I think having heels as your champions is a lot better than having Uso Crazy every single week because it's starting to get a tad stale in my opinion. There's only so many times you can leap over a top rope before it gets old, people. They are a good tag team. Don't get me wrong. I do like the Usos, but I just don't want them to have like a year-long reign or anything, because people might go off them, might get stale and old. I mean, you never saw The Rock or Stone Cold have a year-long reign, and they're Hall of Famers now. The next match was Paige versus AJ Lee, I believe. It was better than I thought it was going to be. AJ was obviously victorious, which was what I was expecting, but I'm disappointed that they didn't pull the heel trigger on Paige last night. Instead, what we got was more ass kissing from her, which was a bit cringe-worthy in my opinion. Kind of ruined the match a little bit for me anyway. It might not have done for you, but what can you do? It's WWE. I'm sure they're going somewhere with this storyline with Paige and AJ. Oh, you're so cool. Oh, you're so cool. Frenemies forever. Rusev versus Swagger. This kind of surprised me because after the event in Ukraine, you wouldn't think WWE would have gone ahead with Rusev as strongly as they did, especially Lana. I mean, she created quite a lot of controversy and pissed a lot of people off, which makes me think there's a lot of sensitive people out there. They didn't hold anything back, and all those people who want the Attitude Era back, and you were offended last night, oh yeah, all you people who want the Attitude Era back, and you were offended. Does the word hypocrite come to mind? I mean, anyway. The match itself wasn't the best match in the world, although I was surprised that Rusev actually won the damn thing. That really surprised me. I mean, many of us remember Muhammad Hassan in 2004, and we all remember what happened to him when something controversial happened. So the fact that Rusev won and is still around really surprises me. That they haven't even repackaged his character. Guess we'll see where that goes in the future. Should be very interesting. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. No idea why they didn't have this match. The three brawls that happened during the actual pay-per-view were very entertaining, but I would have preferred an actual match. Whether they're saving it for SummerSlam, I don't know, but I guess there's nothing really else to say about it, really. It's just a couple of brawls, and then that was it. I was disappointed with that. Would have preferred the match. Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. My best match of the night by far. I really enjoyed it, but one thing I don't really understand is why is Bray Wyatt losing match after match on pay-per-view now? This year so far he has won 3 and 6, which doesn't sound terrible when you think about it. But for a star, which should be one of the next breakout stars in the company, he should be winning a little more. Hopefully there's going to be a SummerSlam rematch where Bray Wyatt can get a good win over the legend that is Y2J. Because he really needs it if we're ever going to take him seriously as champion one day. You can't just have him lose match after match and all of a sudden one day he becomes champion. Something has to happen. Although I hope Sister Abigail, says something to him to make him snap and do whatever. I don't know. It's Bray Wyatt. He does whatever he wants. The Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. This one really shocked me. I expected Cesaro to win, or even Sheamus. They both looked to be front runners when the match was announced, but as we saw, The Miz won. The Miz has been given the Intercontinental Championship. I don't like The Miz, I'll admit that, I'll always admit that. But it was a good move to give Miz the belt. He's cocky, he's arrogant, and I think the belt will get more TV time with The Miz. But I do expect some bad news for him in the future, if you get me drift. And finally, the main event. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way match between John Cena, Kane, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. It was a good match. I don't understand why so many people online are complaining, but then again, it's the online community, they're always complaining. Randy Orton was good. Kane surprised people by doing more than they expected him to do in the match. John Cena and Roman Reigns did what they always do, their limited moves, as expected. I think Roman did about 7 the entire match. I read a couple of comments about Kane, about how he should retire now, and that there should be a limit of how old a wrestler should be, unless they're a high timer, like The Undertaker, Triple H, or The Rock. So, what, is Kane a joke now? Despite his long career, with all the titles he's won, all the moments he's created, is he not a high player to you? If you really think that, then you really are ignorant and you know little about actual wrestling. Kane chooses to put others over. He has always done that because he's unselfish. The guy's smart. The guy believes in the future of the company and he will happily put another superstar over. But people still slander him, saying he's crap, he's a bad wrestler, and it just really annoys me because the guy has done so much for the business, and he has won championships, by the way, and he's held quite a lot of records in matches and whatnot. But that's not enough for you people. He has to be the big red machine. He has to be chokeslamming people left and right every week, or he's not worthy in your eyes. I mean, the guy, yeah, we get older, we, mature, we get older as years go by. He can't do what he used to do anymore. Some people just refuse to acknowledge that. It's pathetic. I mean, you think you can continue to slander him on the internet, thinking that your opinion matters? If you say, oh, I think Kane should retire, he's actually going to retire? Ain't gonna happen. He'll retire when he's ready to retire. So yeah, go back to sucking your John Cena's, your Daniel Bryan's, praying for CM Punk to come back again, week after week. Even though he's said time and time again he's not coming back. Get over it. Crying like little babies whenever all your favourites lose. I mean, Kane lost last night, you don't see me crying. He's lost quite a bit, I don't cry and suck my thumb. And oh, I might stop watching now. I don't mean to throw a tantrum, but after what Kane's done, what has he done that's so bad that you'll slander a legend? And yes, he is a legend that's going to the Hall of Fame one day. Deal with it. I mean, it wasn't his fault that everything that's happened in his career has happened. Well, maybe it was his decision to take the mask off because he couldn't breathe in it anymore. He struggled to cope with that full face mask. And then there was that other half sort of face mask, but it was his decision in the end. He went through with it, and I respect his decision. I'm not going to slander him because of it. If the guy feels uncomfortable doing it, then that's his decision. Then, of course, there was the whole Katie Vick thing. Him getting older, not being able to lift as many weights as he used to, so he might not be as muscly as he used to be, and not being able to do what he used to do. I'm sure Kane could apologise to all you haters for getting older, then I'm sure he would. You shouldn't be hating on Kane, you should be impressed that he can still go. If you think about all the other wrestlers around the same age as him, like The Undertaker, that's a primal example. And he wrestles, once a year? He might not even be wrestling next year, but Kane wrestles every week. He's barely ever been injured his entire career. He's quite good for someone his age. You should be respecting that, not slandering it. It just shows how little about wrestling you actually know. I mean, I personally think he's better now than what he was in 2010 when he was the World Heavyweight Champion. And that was when he won gold. He's entertaining, he could be an entertaining character, he could be a badass. Roman Reigns isn't ready for the title. It'd be boring if Randy Orton had it. I think Kane deserves one more go before he hangs up his mask and boots. And the internet hates John Cena. I find it hilarious that people were annoyed that Cena won even though it was obvious that he was gonna win. And everyone saw the SummerSlam poster and ad of the last month. I mean, Brock Lesnar is going to challenge John Cena for the title. He's obviously going to win it. Yeah, are people upset that Lesnar is obviously going to win it? Not as much as they were about John Cena retaining the title. I mean, you're not upset that Brock Lesnar's going to win the title, even though it'll be a part-timer. But John Cena retaining the title, even though it was obvious that you're still upset about it, makes sense? Out of a 1 to 10, I'll give the pay-per-view a 5. It was average, but all the matches could have easily been done on Raw, except for Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. That one was awesome. Pay-per-view was lackluster, only a couple of good moments. If I had to choose a superstar that really impressed me, it would be the Usos. They had a great match. They overcame the odds again to beat the Wyatts, who I really thought should have won. So that's it. That's the review. See you next time.